While working construction in New York City, I regularly sent money home to my parents, caring for my 7-year-old daughter, Emma. My parents called demanding I pay my sister Rachel's $180,000 gambling debt, or they'd remove the burden from their lives. I thought they meant cutting contact until I got a call from child services. They'd abandoned Emma at a fire station with a note saying unwanted father works up north, and erased every trace of us from their Atlanta home. I didn't even argue. I Jew. Saint smiled and started building a plan that would make them beg for forgiveness they'd never receive. This is probably going to sound insane, but I need to get it out somewhere because my brain is just looping on it, and I'm not sure what's even normal anymore. I'm Daniel, 32, and yeah, my family is a whole thing. Always has been. Greek American, loud. Everyone's got opinions about everyone else's business. No one in my family ever just lets anything slide. My parents, George and Maria, have always been obsessed with my sister Rachel. For real, she's 34, still lives at home, always has some grand scheme that goes nowhere. Like I love her, she's my sister. But honestly, I don't even know if I like her half the time, you know? So I'm not in Georgia right now. Nothing glamorous, just needed a fresh start, and the construction money's way better in New York City. Union jobs pay almost triple what I was making in Atlanta. But I've got my daughter Emma. She's 7, and she was supposed to stay with my parents for a few months while her school year wrapped up. It was just going to be easier than moving her mid-year to a new city. I thought it was fine. I talked to her every day, video called, sent money for everything she needed. I could even visit every few weeks since it's only a 4-hour drive. My parents made it sound like they were loving having her there, like she was bringing joy to the house and all that. Here's where it gets twisted. I send the usual money for groceries and Emma stuff, and my dad texts me something like, call me when you get a chance. We need to discuss Rachel. I'm thinking, what now? Did she crash another car or get fired again? I call and they're both on speaker, sounding all serious. Not yelling for once, but that passive-aggressive tone where you know something bad is coming. Your sister's in a real tough spot, and family means helping each other, and it's time you step up. I'm already bracing for it. So then they just straight up drop it. Rachel owes a lot, they won't say right away, and they want me to pay it. I'm like, what? How much? And they dodge. And then finally, my mom just says 180,000. Not even a pause, like that's just a normal thing to say. I literally laugh. Like, is this a joke? And they're not joking. They want me to take care of it because I owe it to the family. And yeah, I lose it a little. I ask how, why, what did she even do? Turns out she got into some high-stakes poker games and sports betting, and it spiraled completely out of control. Lost everything and then some. Classic Rachel. But now it's somehow my problem. I tell them flat out that's not happening. I'll help, but I'm not bailing out that kind of mess. Silence. Then my dad says, so you're just leaving your sister out to dry. And I say I'm not a bank. It devolves from there. My mom starts crying, my dad's all cold. Rachel is apparently listening in and starts yelling that I'm a selfish asshole, and I never do anything for this family. I hang up after my mom says, well, we'll have to do what we have to do. I think she just means they'll cut me off or whatever, which is hilarious because I'm the one sending them money. For a day or two, nothing. Well, just tense texts. I call Emma to check in. She says she's fine. Grandma's making her pancakes. Cool. Cool. I'm annoyed but not panicking. Then it gets weird. I call the house. No one picks up. I text. Nothing. I get this one-liner from Rachel. Just hope you're happy now. I try not to read into it. Next morning I get a call from a weird number, local Atlanta area code. I almost ignore it, but something in my gut says pick up. It's a woman. She says she's a social worker, and she asks if I'm Emma's father. I say yeah. What's going on? She tells me Emma's safe, but she was left outside a fire station with a note. I legit thought I misheard her. I ask if she's okay, she says yes. But she needs to ask me some questions. She reads the note to me. It literally says unwanted father works up north. Just those words. Nothing else. I don't even know what to say. I keep asking where are my parents? Where's my daughter? What happened? She says Emma is fine. Someone dropped her off and left, and she's being looked after. But I need to come get her or arrange for someone I trust. I just go blank. I try calling my parents. Nothing. Blocked. I even call on a different number. Goes straight to voicemail. I try messaging Rachel. She sends back one line. It's done. Don't bother coming home. I'm not the type to panic, but I'm pissed. I call my friend Marcus, who lives in Atlanta. Ask him to swing by my parents' place just to see what's up. He goes over and tells me it's like I never existed. Photos of me and Emma, gone. Her toys, her clothes, even my old high school trophies, all gone. The house is spotless, like they had a cleaning crew come in. Marcus says he saw Rachel in the driveway, tried to say hi. Rachel just slammed the car door and left. I don't even know how to process it. I end up just sitting there staring at my phone, thinking this has to be a joke or a setup or something. I check my socials, blocked everywhere by my parents and Rachel. My Aunt Sophia texts me like, what's going on? Your mom is saying the most insane stuff about you, but she won't say what. The worst part, I can't even get mad at Emma's school or teachers because they had no idea what was happening either. She was just there one day, then gone the next. I guess my mom called in sick for her and then just never brought her back. I keep thinking, how do you get to this point where your own family just cuts you out that hard? And for what? For money that I don't even have. I end up arranging for Emma to be picked up by Marcus and his wife Jennifer, someone I actually trust. I get on a video call with her. She's okay. Confused, but okay. Honestly, she's tougher than me. The social worker is cool, says I need to call her back ASAP to sort out paperwork. I'm just numb by this point. I try one more time, just to see if my parents will even reply. Nothing. No explanation, no apology, not even a fight. Rachel just posts some vague meme about fake family and how real ones step up. Like I'm supposed to feel guilty or something. My mom blocks my number. My dad leaves a voicemail that's literally just 5 seconds of silence. So I just sit there for a minute, and then I don't even know why. I just start laughing. Like all this time I thought if I did what they wanted, they'd finally see me as part of the family, not just the backup plan. Now it's super clear that was never going to happen. They only ever wanted me around when they needed something fixed. So I text Marcus, told him to keep Emma for a bit, and then I just started making a list of everything I could do to make sure my parents and Rachel actually feel what they just did. Not just a little inconvenience, but the kind of pressure that makes them wish they'd never tried to play me like that. Honestly, I'm not even mad at this point. I'm just done. Like I see it now, they made their choice. I'm about to make mine. And I promise you, they're not going to like it. I barely slept after realizing what they'd done. Just sat there thinking about what I could actually do that would hit them where it hurts. I guess I always sort of knew my parents were transactional. Like everything was about what have you done for us lately, even when I was a kid. But dumping my daughter like that? That's not just crossing a line. That's burning the bridge and then blaming me for the fire. I had a few days before I could drive back to Atlanta. Had to sort out Emma's situation first. She's good staying with Marcus and Jennifer for now. They're real ones. Don't ask for details. Just say, tell us what you need. They've got their own kids, so Emma's basically getting spoiled with snacks and cartoons. I check in every day. She tells me she misses her stuffed elephant and her art supplies, but otherwise she's chill. So I start digging. Not like some detective, just pulling up old documents and emails. Here's something wild. My parents put my name on a bunch of their stuff years ago for emergencies. Classic George and Maria move, always planning for the worst, but only if it benefits them. I'm not talking about a will or anything, but stuff like the house utilities, some savings accounts, car insurance. I never even thought about it. They just handed me a folder one year and said, sign these, it's just in case something happens. I was like 22 and didn't question it. Now I'm looking at these papers thinking, okay, this is leverage. I'm not going to do anything illegal, but I also don't have to keep paying for people who treat me like trash. I start with the utilities. Call up the electric and water companies, tell them I'm moving my name off the accounts. They say they need the other account holders to sign off. I just say then, shut it down when the next bill hits. Same for the internet and the streaming accounts, which honestly was mostly in my name anyway, because my dad thinks everything online is a scam. Next up, the family group chat, ... I don't go off, I just post a simple message. Don't send money to mom and dad for Emma. She's not living there. A couple cousins start asking what happened, but I ignore it for now. I want the questions to start. I want the confusion to hit the rest of the family. Maria tries to kick me out of the chat, but can't figure out how, so she just leaves it. So I land back in Atlanta, barely got any sleep, and the first thing I do is swing by my old house when I know no one's home. Rachel posts her location on Instagram like an idiot, so I know she's at the casino. And my parents are at their Greek Orthodox church dinner. I walk up and, yeah, it's weird. My key still works, which is just lazy on their part. But the house feels fake now, like everything that said Daniel or Emma is just gone. Not in the garage, not in storage, just gone. I check the trash bins and see a couple of Emma's old drawings, some broken toys. Like they just chucked it all out. I take pics, not because I need proof, just to remind myself this isn't a nightmare I made up. At some point I hear a car pull up. It's Rachel, back earlier than I thought. She gets out, sees me, and just stands there, arms crossed, like she's waiting for me to start something. I ask where Emma's stuff is. She shrugs, says she doesn't know. Says, ask mom. I ask if she's proud of herself. She rolls her eyes and says, you should have just paid the debt, and none of this would have happened. I walk past her and she tries to shoulder check me, so I shove her off. She looks surprised, but doesn't push it. I tell her to move her car, and she slams the door, cranks the music, just being loud for no reason. I leave, not because I'm scared, but because I've got bigger things to handle. First, I hit up my Aunt Sophia. She's the only one in the family who ever seemed to care what actually happened to people. I tell her the basics, not the whole fire station thing because I don't trust her not to freak out, but enough that she gets the idea. She's shocked, but also low-key says, well, your mom's been acting weird for months. Maybe it's menopause. I don't even know what to say to that, so I just say I'm not covering for them anymore. She says she'll see what she can do, which is Aunt speak for calling everyone she knows and gossiping, which is fine by me. Next move, the money. I go through my bank statements and start flagging every time I sent money to my parents for Emma, groceries, school stuff, all that. I text the family's old accountant. He's a second cousin. We're not tight, but he's always been neutral. I tell him to stop sending anything to my parents that has my name on it, to freeze any joint stuff, and to send me a summary of the past year. He says okay, but also asks if everything's alright because my mom said I was having a breakdown. I just say no, I'm just done paying for people who don't respect me. He doesn't argue, just says he'll handle it. Over the next few days, the fallout starts. My parents call my aunt, my uncle, even my ex-girlfriend trying to get someone to talk me down. Rachel tries to DM me, says I'm being dramatic, says I'm ruining the family's reputation. I just leave her on read. My uncle sends me a text like come to dinner, let's talk this out, but I know it's just going to be them trying to guilt trip me again. I skip it. I start showing up at places I know Rachel hangs out. The casino, the cheap Mediterranean place, even her favorite bar. I don't say anything, just sit there, scroll my phone, let her sweat. One time she tells the bartender I'm stalking her. Bartender laughs and says, dude, he's just eating hummus. I see her get more and more twitchy every time, like she's waiting for me to go off. I want her nervous. I want her to know I'm not just some voice on the phone anymore. Meanwhile, I start pulling out of every group thing my parents ever roped me into. Family barbecues, group gifts, all of it. Next time my mom tries to start a group video call, I just decline and text the whole family. I'm not talking to people who abandon their grandchild. No one replies. People start noticing. My cousin Alex texts me like, hey man, your dad's been calling me nonstop asking for help with the mortgage. Is something going on? I tell him if you want to help, go ahead, but I'm out. He says, nah, I got my own bills. And I just say welcome to the club. I hear from another friend that my dad tried to get a loan from his old poker buddy and got laughed out of the bar. My mom tries posting some inspirational quotes on Facebook about children who turn their backs on family, and my Aunt Sophia claps back in the comments. I almost screenshot it, but decide to just let them eat each other alive. Rachel finally snaps one night, shows up at Marcus's house. She knows the address, small town problems. Starts banging on the door, yelling that I need to face her. Marcus answers, tells her to leave. Rachel tries to push past him, gets shoved back and almost falls off the porch. I get a text from Marcus like your sister's losing it. Maybe handle your business. I call Rachel and tell her if she ever shows up there again, I'll post the videos of her drunk casino meltdowns on her Instagram. She hangs up. The funniest part? My parents still don't call me directly. They just send these group messages about how could you do this to your own blood and family means everything. And what would your grandmother think? I ignore every single one. I start blocking numbers. I get a letter in the mail with my mom's handwriting. Don't even open it, just toss it in the trash. And through all this, I'm not even mad anymore. Just focused. I want them to feel every single consequence of what they did, not just for a week or a month, but long enough that they remember it every time they check their bank balance or go to the store and can't pay for something. The bills start piling up on them fast. I hear through the grapevine that the electric was cut for 2 days before they figured out how to pay it. The mortgage company called my dad at work. My mom's crying to my aunt about how she never expected her own son to betray her. My aunt's over it, just tells her to figure it out herself. I think that's the first time I've ever heard my mom get told no by someone in the family. Rachel starts calling around trying to get people to loan her money, posts on Facebook about some people's true colors and fake family. Nobody bites. I see her at the casino, headphones in, pretending I'm not there, but she keeps glancing over. I just sit at the bar, scrolling my phone, waiting for her to look up. She finally does, and I just smile, wave, go back to my drink. She leaves early. At some point I get another letter from my mom. Not an email, a letter, which is weird for her. It's like 4 pages of guilt tripping, talking about how hard it was to raise me, how much they sacrificed, how I'm letting Rachel drown and my dad age before his time. Says if I don't help, they'll have to make harder choices. I don't even finish reading it. I just throw it in the junk drawer with expired coupons and takeout menus. Meanwhile, Emma is thriving with Marcus and Jennifer's family. I see her every day now. We draw, play video games, eat too many cookies. She asks sometimes about grandma and grandpa, but not in a sad way, just like she's noticing they're not around. I say they're busy. She shrugs and asks if she can have another juice box. Honestly, I wish I was as chill as her. Now my parents are low-key shunned in their own neighborhood. People talk, it's Atlanta, everyone knows something went down. My mom used to host these big Greek dinners every month, now nobody shows up. My dad's pretending like nothing's wrong, but I see him at the gas station trying to haggle with the cashier over lottery tickets. Rachel is couch surfing. Heard from a friend she tried to crash at their place and got told to get a job first. I stopped getting the daily guilt texts. Now it's just the occasional when are you coming home, or we miss you. No mention of Emma, no apology, no explanation. They still think I'm going to crack first. Never going to happen. The only one who's actually real with me is my cousin Michelle. She shows up at my place one night with pizza, just sits down and says, so you really cut them off? I tell her, yeah, for good. She nods, says, took you long enough. Then she tells me my mom's been calling her non-stop, begging for help with bills, crying about how I turned the whole family against her. Michelle just says maybe don't abandon your granddaughter next time. I push it further. I find out my parents have been getting little side gifts from the extended family for years, birthdays, holidays, even just because. I start calling around, telling everyone what actually happened. Not even in a dramatic way, just facts. Most of them are shocked. Some don't believe me at first, but a couple remember seeing my mom act weird lately. After that, the gifts dry up. One uncle actually calls my dad and yells at him for shaming the family. I wish I could have seen that. Rachel tries to guilt trip me one last time, shows up at my apartment with some sob story about how she's trying to fix things but needs a little help. I tell her to leave. She gets pissed, tries to slap my phone out of my hand. I shove her back, tell her to get lost. She stands there for a second like she's waiting for me to go easy. I just stare at her. She finally leaves, slamming the door hard enough, the frame rattles. Now it's just me, Emma, and the quiet. I'm not lonely, just done. Every move I make, every dollar I pull, it's like they realize I'm not playing anymore. The last thing my mom sent was a text. You're destroying the family. I just laughed. I've got Emma enrolled in a great school here in Atlanta. Marcus and Jennifer helped me find a good apartment, close to them, but our own space. Emma's got new art supplies, a bigger stuffed elephant, and friends who actually want to play with her. I want my parents to feel it every time they sit down for dinner and realize it's just the three of them. No one calling, no one visiting, nothing but the echo of their own choices. 6 months later, I hear Rachel had to declare bankruptcy. The gambling debts caught up with her, and without me as their backup plan, my parents couldn't save her. She's living in some studio apartment across town, working at a call center. My parents' house is falling apart. Grass up to their knees, paint peeling, mailbox held together with duct tape. George had to take a part-time job at 65 just to keep the lights on. Maria stopped going to church because she's embarrassed. Sometimes I drive by just to see. Not because I miss them, but because I want to remember what happens when you treat family like Adam M's instead of people. Emma asks about them less and less. She's made friends at her new school, loves her art teacher, talks about wanting to be a veterinarian. She's building a life that has nothing to do with people who threw her away like garbage. And me? I sleep great at night. Looking back now, that phone call demanding I pay Rachel's debt actually saved us both. If I hadn't seen their true colors, Emma might have grown up thinking that's what family looks like. Conditional love based on what you can provide. Instead, she's learning that real family chooses you every day, not just when it's convenient. The last text my mom sent was family always comes first. I finally replied, "You're right. That's why Emma and I are doing just fine without you." I blocked the number after that. Sometimes the worst betrayals lead to the best outcomes. Emma and I built our own family, one that actually knows what love means. And if Rachel ever gets her life together and wants to apologize, the door's not completely closed. But my parents? They made their choice when they abandoned a 7-year-old at a fire station. Some bridges aren't meant to be rebuilt.